Oh, look at the red sky. So nope, it's going down. Here we go. Hey, it looks like Wahoo World is temporarily closed for Big Run. No, I've been there in years. But I was totally gonna go this weekend. Probably. Well, Grisco is hiring if you want to help clean up the salmonid mess. I could use a job. How many salmonids per hour? I can keep them as pets. None to mention as pay, but it's something about a thank you gift. So I can get a Wahoo World when it's closed and get free gifts? Sign me up. Want to help save the city, right? Good for you. Updates. So yeah, the game did get an update because I guess there was a thing that broke rollers. Not like it helps the Big Swig any. God, the Big Swig will never be good. But for now, catch you later. This is our first time in the new update, isn't it? Yeah. Because, yeah, I'm now back to rank A, 200. I just couldn't win a rank up battle to S rank. I was at, like, 1200. And then I couldn't fucking win it. And then I ranked all the way back down to A-. And I've been able to get nothing, point-wise. It's just been since the new update. Ugh. I love this. Next episode of the Funk Lad's gonna be sick. Alright, let's see what this big run's all about, shall we? So this is Splatfest, but for Salmon Run. Kind of, I guess. I'm going to Grisco's industry and congrats on making this kind of sound business decision, as your future will no doubt appreciate. I take in my advertisements for help with Big Run. May be effective. We're somewhat short-staffed at the moment. Come just at the right time. You're aware of the Big Run phenomenon yet? Where salmon stray from their own turf and invade our cities. It is business critical that we prevent the salmonids from damaging the city. Stopping them is no small task, but Grisco employees are ready to risk it all. Primary objective of stopping the salmonids just so happens to dovetail nicely with our core business model, collecting golden eggs. It's all about synergy. Grisco recognizes your tasks associated with this challenging task. That's why we're increasing our payout. We're prepared special decorations for everyone, regardless of your performance. This has been productive. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do with this opportunity. Good luck. Alright. So, Big Run. So, Big Run, right, it takes place on the map Wahoo World, and they did take Wahoo World out of map rotation, which is neat. The other thing is that, from what I've been told, in Big Run, bosses have more health, and enemies move faster. So, it's not just like it's not just like a special map. No, it actually is a little harder. There's also other things that I'm sure will show up. But yeah, it's not just simple, like, one for one, oh, here's the little changes we've made. Oh, Grisco Blaster. God, now if only we could get Grisco, Bucket back in the game. Yep, weapons are all random. But yeah, enemies... I don't know if normal enemies have more health. But I know, oh, you gotta let it get closer. I'm trying to, it's important to still kite enemies, get them close to the net. But yeah, I've seen some huge payout, egg-wise, from, like, some of the videos. I've seen people get, like, 200 plus eggs. So yeah, I've seen some. I know this mode pays out like big time. Oh my god, that got 3 of us. Really? Okay, I must have just not been close enough. I know the top priority is still the flyfish, right? Nothing's actually, like, when it comes to, like, what enemies you should defeat, nothing has actually changed. Flyfish still suck. Take out stingrays, and, the other one second. The guys, the basket shooters, whose names I'm forgetting. Those are your top priorities. Everything else falls below that. I think below that are the normal enemies. Then below that are, the what's it called? Below that, right, like this thing right here. This is nothing. The basket, nothing. Like that guy right up there, the flying thing, nothing. Okay, I'm gonna lure him back up to the basket. Oh god, oh god. Of course, this is just our first run, you know, things will pick up as time goes on. I don't know, I've heard mixed things about this mode. I've heard some people say they really like it. I've heard some people say it's not as cool. Okay, just a normal slot charger. So we haven't played Splatoon in a while, since the chill season. So I actually got into using a charger recently. Not the Splat charger, specifically the Squiffer. And you know, it's okay. Oh. So yeah, I recently got into the Squiffer. Which, you know, is I don't know, I like it because it's a fast charger. If I'm just being honest, that's why I've been liking about it so far. I've tried using the Snipe Rider. It's I mean, it's a new bamboozler. I tried using the freaking, what's it called? It's not that, the Big Swig, it's not that great. The Nova, I want to put more time into. I'm just new to playing. I really don't play support. Mostly I play offensive I mostly play offensive weapons. So the playing support with a weapon like the Nova or the Splattershot Jr. it's kind of new to me. So yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting update. I definitely need to put more time into it. I've been doing other things, some of which we will talk about tonight. I also just haven't been video gaming that much. Yeah, see, I swear these enemies used to take 300. I guess they take 400 now. You still probably take 50 or 100. Yeah. Maybe I could totally be misremembering things. It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. So tonight we've got the main story of tonight is the Game Awards. The Game Awards were this past Thursday. I did watch them this year. I know I'm very hit and miss when it comes to the Game Awards. Some year of the past 5 Game Awards, I've watched 3 and I've skipped the other 2. Most not because I didn't want to, it's just I had prior commitments. I have mixed feelings on the Game Awards, but we'll talk about it. I will say this year I thought was a better showing than some of their previous years. This honestly might be their best showing yet, but eh. Might, keyword. And then the other thing is, the other thing we've got to talk about is, we got some news about Xbox. Xbox had a few news stories this week. And then finally, we've just got WIBE. What have I been doing? What games have I been playing? Specifically around the Game Awards. And yeah, there's been a few things, to say the least. So yeah, we're going to start off with the Microsoft stories, because those broke before the, Game Awards happened. So the first thing is on, I want to say Monday, Xbox put out a report saying that starting next year, they're going to be raising game prices from the standard $60 to PlayStation's new $70. Which, I've said before and I'll say it again, the raising of game prices is complete bullshit. Because people will say, well, games have never gone up in price. Yes, they have. They just haven't gone up in the traditional sense. Instead, they go up in price by having DLC, and microtransactions, and loot boxes. $60 is a myth price. Games haven't actually, there are very few games that you pay $60 for, and that's it nowadays. That's it. You pay other than, I'm talking AAA. I'm talking AAA. Most games nowadays, $60 is the starting price. And then, a lot of games have microtransactions. And even paid games. I'm not just talking, if I was talking free games, that would be one thing. But paid, full, $60 games still have microtransactions. And yeah, it's kind of bullshit. Right? $60 is not the bare minimum price anymore. And I'll get a recent example is that new Marvel game. Marvel Midnight Suns. Yep, that's a $60 game that has microtransactions in it. That's not a boom, now that's not a $60 price. And people will say, well, it's just cosmetic. Still more than $60. You're not... Again, back in the day, a PS2 game would just have given you all that for $60. All those cosmetic microtransactions, that's the base price of the game. But not anymore. Nope, that's not how the game industry works anymore. They put microtransactions. There's very few studios. Again, indie games are kind of the one exception. Where games aren't the full $60, where either games aren't the full $60 price, or they don't do microtransactions, or anything of the sort. Right? There are exceptions, of course. Nintendo, a lot of their games are one and done by, and Nintendo has experimented with that. Splatoon here, right? That we know this game is going to have a paid story DLC. And some people will say, well, it's a paid story DLC. You're paying for that additional content. Yes, but you're also still paying more than $60 now. Right? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart 8 had a DLC, and now it's got a second DLC. There's example number 2. Fire Emblem. The new Fire... during the Game Awards, they announced the new Fire Emblem game has a season pass. Yeah, games aren't just $60 anymore. $60 is a starting price in a lot of cases. Ah, shit. So yep, the $60 myth is a real thing that does exist. Come on, get me. We really gotta get rid of this fly fish. How did I hit so many shots into that big, that steel head. I almost called it a big head. Yeah, we got that fly fish just completely. I threw a bomb or two at it. I saw other people throw a bomb or two at it, and we just could not take it out. So yeah, the $60 is a myth, right? Like, yes, games still only charge $60 in person, or at least they did. But $60 is always just the starting price. At least that's more and more frequent nowadays. Even though there are exceptions, and, you know, a good indie game will give you 50 hours of high-quality content for, like, $20. Hollow Knight. But, right, not every indie game is Hollow Knight. I mean, and again, I've said I'll pay for, like, I'll pay, like, $20 for a very solid 2 hours of video game. Right? Games like Donut County, an Untitled Goose Game, Gato Roboto. Right? Two hours to beat, 4 hours to 100%. I'll gladly pay the money, because those are very high quality. Whereas some AAA games give you 60 hours of the most boring game you've ever fucking played. Fucking Marvel's Avengers. You know. So I think this is just, and you know, I would have no problem with the game industry raising their prices if a lot of this stuff came standard within games by default, right? If games wanted to raise their prices, but got rid of the microtransactions, got rid of the monetization, got rid of the loot boxes, because plenty of games still have those, mind you, I would have no problem paying more money for games. But guess what? They're not doing that. They're still charging the full $60, and then asking for more on top of that. So yeah, this is just Microsoft being more greedy because PlayStation pushed the bar, and now they know that they can get away with it. Now Xbox knows they can get away with it. Nintendo, it's only a while until they try to get away with it. Well, right, and that's how this industry fucking works. Someone pushes the bar, and then everybody else, right? How it works is that somebody pushes the bar way too far, gets a lot of backlash, but the previous thing that was really bad now looks tame in comparison. Right? Microtransactions were the worst thing added to video games. And then Overwatch added loot boxes, and nobody fucking called them out for it until fucking Shadow of Mordor did it. But they should have been. Like, fuck Overwatch. Fuck Overwatch and fuck Activision Blizzard King. We're talking about them next. But yeah, Overwatch, right, it pushed the bar. Right now, loot boxes are bad. But now, in comparison, microtransactions don't look that bad. So right now we've got these loot boxes and these microtransactions that are bad. But hey, $60 game, $70 games? Oh, that's not so bad in comparison. I mean, we could have loot boxes. Right? That's how this fucking industry works. And it's a shit show. It does not surprise me at all that Xbox is trying to do this. Oh yeah. Snipe Raider, okay. So yeah, I'm not at all surprised. This is very on brand for what the AAA gaming industry is. So yeah, our other Xbox story tonight is, so there was a story that came out, I want to say on like Monday or Tuesday. So a few weeks ago, Microsoft had made the deal to PlayStation that they would give PlayStation 10 years of Call of Duty. Right? PlayStation gets 10 years of Call of Duty, and Microsoft gets to purchase Activision Blizzard King. Because, you know, PlayStation's been trying to argue that, oh, Activision Blizzard King is a monopoly. That's been their whole argument this entire time. And that's still their argument. Like, that has not changed. But now, so they made that deal to PlayStation. We knew about that deal. It was originally behind closed doors, and then it was made public. But since then, things have changed even more. I'm going to get rid of you. Because that same deal was seemingly offered to Nintendo in Valve/Steam. And they took them up on it. So 10 years of Call of Duty will be coming to Steam, and it will be coming to Nintendo Switch / whatever the next Nintendo console is. Right? That's the next 10 years that they've just secured / guaranteed. And this puts Sony in a terrible position. Because now it makes them seem like they're being greedy. Because, hey, 10 years was good enough for Nintendo. 10 years was good enough for Valve. But Sony, oh, now all of a sudden this isn't good enough for you? What's up with that, right? That's the entire thing about this. Because, yeah, Nintendo hasn't had a freaking... hasn't had a Call of Duty game in... probably... I bet the Wii U had, like, Black Ops 2. I bet in 2014, the Wii U had Black Ops 2. Maybe 20... God, it was probably honestly 2010. Or 2012, I mean. It was probably 2012, not 2014. And that's it. That was the last Call of Duty game. Because I remember, like, the Wii had World at War. I remember the DS had COD 4. Right? All that stuff. But now Nintendo's got COD next. And again, this applies to the Switch. This applies to whatever comes after the Switch. So yeah, this really does put Sony in a hard position. However, they're going to be potentially fine. Because right now, I've said it before. I am against the merger of Activision, Blizzard King, and Microsoft. I've been against a lot of Activision, Blizzard, Microsoft mergers. Right, like when they bought Bethesda, I was against that as well. And guess what? I'm against this. So yeah, nothing has really changed there. But now, right, and it looked like when this deal was announced, right, that, oh, Nintendo and Valve have agreed to this deal. What a lot of people expected was the FTC, who was, you know, looking into blocking this acquisition, was probably going to let go, right? They were probably going to back away. That's what a lot of people, myself included, were thinking. But no. Actually, on Friday, maybe even Thursday. Honestly, it might have even been Thursday. the FTC filed a complaint to block the merger of Activision Blizzard King and Microsoft, or the acquisition. I said merger, acquisition. So yep, it looks like they put a stop to that. Or at least they've put a notion to block. Nothing has actually been stopped yet, but it has all the potential to be stopped. And I think that's probably what matters more to Microsoft. Because, yeah, I think this is, yeah, like, everything they're saying about this is true, right? That it's anti-consumer, that it's anti-whatever. Yes. Ah, shit. Even if it kills me, it kills the fly fish as well. A small sacrifice. Okay, someone's gotta get that stinger out of here. Ah, shit. I was too far there in. Okay, we did this one. Probably. As long as we can hold the wall. Yeah, we're fine. That's our first actual completion. So yeah, it's... Do I think the FTC is going to fully block this? It's totally possible. God, our biggest completion yet is not even our most stakes. Do I think they're actually going to stop it? It's possible. I don't know. I don't think anything is guaranteed at the moment. But yeah, it definitely... I'm definitely against it. I know I'm not against it for the same reason Sony is. Sony is against it because they like how it currently works, and they don't want that to change. Right? Sony is fine with them not having to, put in any effort to, just have Call of Duty on their platform. And now they have to, and so that's why they're blocking it. And, they've got motivation to. Right? They've got all the motivation. Even with that 10-year deal, they've still got all the motivation. Because, infinite growth and all that shit. Capitalism is found on infinite growth that will inevitably fail. Because nothing is infinite. But yet still America's economy must overshadow its needs. Which is why in Victoria 3, capitalism sucks and communism is a much better strategy for winning the game. Oh shit. Okay, somebody got on it. Yeah, there's a reason why for that. So yeah, I just, so the actual thing, we'll see how this, again, this story, on Monday, it was oh shit, Microsoft just won. And then on Thursday/Friday, it was oh no, now the game's completely changed once again. Oh shit, who knows where this is gonna go now? Right? Anything's now possible. So yeah, we'll have to see how this all plays out over the coming days and months and weeks. Because really nothing's going to happen until next year. Right? We all know that. But yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I've been against the Activision Blizzard thing. Fucking capitalism, man. And nothing's changed. So those are our only two non-Game Awards stories. So we might as well get started on the Game Awards. So we're going to talk about the announcements first. Right? The Game Awards is advertising first, award show second. But, at least they're upfront about it. Unlike other award shows, Oscars, that definitely are... the Game Awards are at least more, not subtle, they're just more honest with it. Ah, shit. So yeah, So this year's Game Awards, I thought was a good show. You know what? The Game Awards, and I've said this before, are always a worse show in my head than they actually are. Like, in my head, the Game Awards are a forking nightmare. But in actuality, they're not actually that bad. You know, they're a 3-hour award show. And yeah, in my head, they're always a nightmare. But in actuality, no. They're just... I mean, yeah, sure. Is it a long show? Yeah, kind of. But is it a bad show? Oh, God. I was fucking cornered. Yeah, no, I don't think... I think this year's Game Awards were pretty decent. They had some good announcements. The award winners, we'll get to it, but let's just say I expected one game to sweep, and then a different game swept. But yeah, I thought the show was not bad this year. You know, I've definitely seen worse years, and I also can't think I've seen better years, so this might be the best show yet. Because, again, in my memory, the Game Awards is always bad. But actually sitting down to watch it, it's never as bad as I remember it being. Right? Like, it's never as painful. Whereas the Oscars is exactly as painful as I expect it to be every year. So, take that however you will. Take that as, right, like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So it could have been worse. But no, there were some good announcements. And yeah, let's talk about them. So, first off, one of the first announcements of the night, potentially even the first announcement of the night during the pre-show, was the announcement of Dead Cells. So, right, Dead Cells, one of my favorite games of all time. Even though I have not played it in a while. I love Dead Cells. And they announced that the new update to Dead Cells, Castlevania. Because, you know, Dead Cells is a Metroidvania roguelike. So adding Castlevania elements makes a lot of sense. And they're adding Richter and Alucard from Symphony of the Night. As well as you even see in the trailer, you literally see elements from, right, like you literally see the castle from Symphony of the Night. Whether that means there's going to be like a Symphony of the Night-esque level or something, like, not level, yeah, level I guess. Or whether that's just like a random thing for the trailer. I'm not entirely sure. It honestly, I think it could go either way. But yeah, Symphony of the Night in Dead Cells. I think that's a really neat thing. Again, fuck Konami. Konami can't do a game to fucking save their lives. But they've got the IP. And I'd rather have them lending it out to other people than actually... Because they won't do fucking anything with it. Konami hates using their own IP for anything. But yeah, so I think this is a cool crossover. I'm all aboard Dead Cells and Castlevania. Because I love Dead Cells, man. They never released Symphony of the Night on Switch. Nope. It came to... that around the same time it was announced for Smash Bros. It came to every other console. It came to PlayStation, it came to Xbox. Never came to Switch, and I've never played it. Ah, shit. Next up. So, this actually broke, like, a few hours before the Game Awards. But the Game Awards were the official announcement. Dead Cell. Or Vampire Survivors, not Dead Cell. Another vampire game that takes influence from Castlevania. Kind of. I mean, yes. But yeah, Vampire Survivors, one of the biggest games of the year. At least, like, it was only nominated for a single award at this Game Awards. It could have been easily nominated for Game of the Year, from what I've heard. And I've played some of it. I haven't played as much as other people. I have played some of Vampire Survivors. But a few hours before, they announced Vampire Survivor on mobile. Right? The mobile port went up, and I was gonna happily pay money for the mobile port. The second I saw it go up, I was like, yeah, I'll pay money for this. Easy. And then it was free. Yeah, the mobile port's free, and it doesn't, even though it's free, it doesn't even have, like, intrusive ads or anything. Like, you'd think, like, oh, every time you're in, like, the menu screen, like, an ad would pop up or something. No, actually, ads really only pop up when you fail. You can watch an ad to restart your run. Other than that, ads are almost completely optional in the game. Right? Like, I've been playing some of the mobile port, and I've rarely seen an ad. Because, yeah, I have been playing this mobile port of Vampire Survivors, and yeah, I've basically seen nothing. I would have happily... I think on Steam, Vampire Survivors is $5, and it might even be cheaper than that right now, because of sales, because of the Game Award sales. I would have happily paid $5 for a mobile port of Dead Cells. I keep saying Dead Cells, of Vampire Survivors. But nope, they just didn't make one. They gave it away for free. There are some questions I have about it, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. Because I'm admittedly not great at it. But I have been playing it. Where's that fly fish? Yeah, so far, I've been enjoying the Vampire Survivors port. I'm definitely not as good at it, but it definitely, right, like, I kind of hadn't played it on Xbox in a while, just because, you know, other things, but I'd been meaning to, and this actually got me to play it again. God, somebody needs to go put those in. Okay, somebody is, I guess. Okay, we did better this run. I don't know if we broke 68, but we did better. Oh, shit. But yeah, so I think that was a great addition. So this was all during the pre-show. They announced the new Among Us mode, which I think is available now. I do want to try it at some point. It's called Hide and Seek. Oh, God, a fucking blaster. Out of everything we could have gotten, it had to be a Luna Blaster. Come on. Oh, God. So, yeah, I do think Hide and Seek in Among Us, you know, it's a neat idea. It's a very simple but neat idea. Fuck the maw! I was going to use one of those eggs to kill the fly fish. And then, nope, the maw's right there. And it's... Oh my god, that's causing us so much trouble. That maw killed like 3 of us. God, where even is it? Really? That's not the killing spot? God, I thought that would be the killing spot. And that's not the killing spot. God, I fucking... We might have been able... Honestly, that maw killing 3 of us caused a lot of problems. And the fact that I can't get in a good spot to kill any of these things. Oh, God, that sucked. We got 80, though. That's not too bad. I mean, it's not too bad for me. Like, let's be honest. There's not a chance in hell I break 100. Well, I might. Like, I've never broken 100 before. We've gotten close. We got 99 that one time. Or was it 98? I don't remember. I don't remember anymore. I fucking hate Kohozuna, man. Such a cool thing, that on higher difficulties is just impossible to do. I've done it once on a higher difficulty level. Like, once you get to professional, nope, it just becomes near impossible. I know there are people who have killed it like 100 times, but God. Fucking masochists. So yeah, Among Us Hide and Seek, cool idea. You can pet the... They added... Later on in the show, they announced that they're adding an outfit from Glass Onion, which, spoiler alert for Glass Onion, Among Us does show up in Glass Onion in the movie. Spoiler alert. So yeah, that's why they're doing it. That's why Glass Onions, they're getting an Among Us outfit. You know, it's kind of like how Avengers had that, right, Fortnite showed up in it. So they added a Fortnite outfit. It's just one of those things that makes sense. Even though how much you hate Fortnite, it's still, I get where they're coming from there. But yeah, so I do want to try that. I'm curious to see what other people think of it. I think it makes, you know, hide and seek makes sense. God, I hope the new Mario Odyssey has hide and seek. It's not going to. Nintendo. It's too good of an idea. Nintendo would never fucking do it. Let's see what else next. So they showed off the game Viewfinder. So this game Viewfinder, the first time people ever saw it was a tweet. Someone made a tweet about a game they were making years ago. I couldn't even tell you when it was. I think I remember seeing the tweet. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, in hindsight, like, I'd like to think I did, but I honestly don't remember, because it was viral. Right? It's like Choo Choo Charles, which is a game that came out this week. Originally started off as a series of tweets or like posts on like a website that were just like, hey, I have this idea for a train game. Wouldn't it be fun? And yeah, the game finally released this week. But yeah, Viewfinder is a game all about like taking pictures and using them to like shift perspective. In ways not dissimilar to something like Superliminal. Like, I know Superliminal was about rotating objects, but it's not in ways dissimilar to that. So this is where you camp. If you ever need to hide from the thing, you camp up here. Because that way they have to go all the way around to get to you. Come on, guys, get over to me. See, I know how to fucking do this. I know how to fucking play the game. Oh, God. Nope, and that's it, because I didn't expect it to come back to me right away. I thought I had a few seconds. We could, if I had just stayed up there longer, we could have survived. Having those two Grisco blasters made that so much easier. Yeah. So yeah, Viewfinder, it's a game about a camera. Like, literally, that was the tweet, like, the tweet they put out was like, it's a game about a camera. The trailer literally opens with the original tweet. It looks like a cool idea. It looks fun. I hate how I hate how little XP Salmon Run gives you on the ranking up sheet on the catalog. God, That was something I noticed recently. So yeah, that's the last announcement of the pre-show that I care about. I should say I am not talking about every announcement. I'm not even talking about half of the announcements tonight. I'm just talking about the shit I care about. If you care about every announcement, I don't know, go watch fucking Greg Miller talk about it. Go read a fucking IGN article. You know? Go watch, I think it was did Arlo's video talk about every announcement? He probably did. That wouldn't surprise me. I think that's because it was titled something like that. Oh my god, someone's got a big swig. But yeah, so the actual show started, and I think this was the first announcement of the show. Right? You always got to kick it off with something strong. And oh boy, did they kick it off with something strong. Hades 2. I loved Hades. Hades was my game of the year for 2020. You know, I played Animal Crossing every day for that year. And yet, Hades was the better game. Yep, I said it at the time, and I'll say it again. Hades was the better game. So yeah, Hades 2, super exciting. The new character who, you know, you're playing as in this one, it's not... So you're not Zagreus. You're his sister... Melanoe? I think... It's one of those words that I've only ever seen spelled. So I don't actually know what the correct pronunciation is. But if I had to guess, I'd say either Melanoe or Milanoe. Melanoe? Melanoe. Something like that. I'm gonna keep saying Melanoe. This was actually a character from, God from mythology. Yeah, God. That I didn't actually know about. Right? Like Hades loves to pull from obscure lore. And like there's another character in one of these trailers, like, or in this trailer, like Marone? Who, like, I've never heard of. But Melanoe is actually a character I did know about. Right? As basically the daughter of Persephone and Hades. It's Zeus, actually, kind of, because, you know, they can't just have their own kids. It's fucking, who knows how they're gonna go. I mean, we know how they're gonna go with it, but I'm sure they will. Hades is one of those great games that, like, it makes references to things, like the fact that Zagreus is Dionysus, right? Like, they straight up do reference that, because Hades is just good like that. So yeah, the other characters we see, Hecate, who is, because there's no, like, names in the trailer or anything. These are all just, like, I think they did confirm Melanoe, but I don't think they actually confirmed anything else, really. But we see Hecate, who is training Melanoe. We see Apollo, who was not in the first game, right? One of the few, like, big gods who was not in the first game. He was, of course, mentioned. Nemesis, who is the daughter of Nyx, right? Goddess of revenge, who was mentioned in the first game, but you never actually see her. That Marone guy, who I never have heard of. Like, seriously, I have no idea who the hell this guy is. And, there's one other one you see. Oh, there's kind of like how the first game had Dusa, which is like Medusa's head. This game has Dora, which is Pandora, right? Like, that one's, yeah. Okay, that's funny. I'm so excited, man. It looks to play, you know, it looks to play a lot like the first Hades. But, you know, they're just going to make some changes. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to come down to, is they're going to just make some changes, make the gameplay better, and it's going to be amazing, because Hades is amazing. They are doing the thing like they did with the first game, where everything is in early access. So yeah, they're gonna start I don't know about Epic Game Store, if Epic Game Store is involved again, but we know they're doing the early access thing, so that way they can, you know, test things out before the final release. And much like the first game, even though playing it on early access does sound cool, I would actually rather wait just for the full release. Oh yeah, I'm using GooTuber. Okay, I was like, I knew I was using a sniper, but I kind of missed. I kind of wasn't paying attention to which one. So yeah, I think everything we saw here looks fantastic. I'm super excited for this game. I think they say it's going into open beta next year, or alpha, or whatever they're calling it. Right, they're going into early access, and then it will probably do full release later on, probably 2024. Because I think Hades took a full year, because Hades was announced at the Game Awards. It went into Epic Game Store exclusive for about a year, and then came onto Switch in full access in 2020. Maybe it even was a year and a half. So I expect the same thing here. And yeah, I'd be happy to wait for it on Switch again. Oh, I didn't say earlier with Vampire Survivors. I'm amazed they put Vampire Survivors on mobile before they put it on Switch. I wouldn't have been surprised if they had both happened at the same time, as well as getting it on PlayStation. I do wonder if Xbox has an exclusivity deal for consoles. I don't know if we know. But I'm really surprised it's not on Switch. Because it's going to be the greatest one Joy-Con game. Right? And maybe, I would hope they would maybe even put forward a mode to just use a single Joy-Con. Yeah, I meant to mention that earlier. But yeah, of course I'm excited for Hades 2. Looks great. Honestly, if this had been the only announcement in the Game Awards, I would have considered the show a success. Literally, Hades 2 is literally all I needed for me to consider this a successful show. Yep, already you made it off the bat. You started off great. So yeah, already they're off to a good start with this show. That was the first announcement of the fucking show, man. And they already knew how to start off good. One of the next announcements, so like we're still in like the first like 10 minutes here. Judas, which is the new game from, it's not Campfire, it's like Camplight. Maybe it is just Campfire or something. Campfire, right, the studio, which is the new studio from Ken Levine. Ken Levine, you should recognize from Bioshock Infinite. I feel like we've definitely turned around on Ken Levine in the past few years. Like, I know he was at the top of things with the releases, with Bioshock. Bioshock 2 wasn't liked as much, but definitely Bioshock Infinite. Right, like, people just fucking loved those games. And then I feel like he kind of became not so popular for a while, especially because almost immediately after Bioshock 2, he left 2K Games and whatever the studio was, and, you know, was, like, basically going off to get a fresh start. But nope, he'd been working on this. This is his new game, and yes, it looks very heavily Bioshock-inspired. It's first Bioshock was, city underwater. Second, Bioshock Infinite, city in sky. This, city in space. There's robot people, you know. Yeah, again, big fan of, them Bioshocks. I know, again, I feel like we've definitely turned on Ken Levine. I definitely feel like that's a thing that happened. I'm not entirely sure, but it definitely feels like something that's happened. But I still love him, man. Or at least I love the original Bioshock. Right. As a fucking all the proof you need that objectivism doesn't work. Yep, it's all right there, because Objectivism does not work. Because you gotta remember, Ayn Rand died on welfare. Oh, this is actually going really well. I just jinxed us. Yep, I totally fucking jinxed us. Survive. Yep, ah, fuck, I jinxed us. Shit. God damn it. And that would have been, that still wouldn't have been 60-something. So yeah, I think it looks good. You know, I will have to actually see more of it next year, but I think it looks good. A big surprise for me was Bayonetta Origins, Cerezaw and the Lost Demon. Yeah, I was not expecting that. It's basically a Bayonetta big-headed child in a scary world game. I mean, it's got, you know, it's that's actually a terrible comparison. I've just been thinking about big-headed child in scary world recently because we'll talk about it later during WIBE. But yeah, no, it's a Bayonetta story where you're Cerezaw, Bayonetta, your child. God, I don't fucking remember the first Bayonetta at all. But right, you're this child thing, and you're with this demon, and you're guiding it around, fighting enemies, solving puzzles, presumably, and whatnot. It looks fine, I guess. Oh, fucking explosion. I am not good with this weapon. So yeah, I definitely don't have strong thoughts on it. It looks fine. And it's coming out in March. God, I don't have a good angle on that. Because he turned on me. But yeah, so that's right around the corner. Honestly, it's a lot for the with us getting just a Bayonetta game the past like 3 months ago. In the past like 3 months, getting another one in 3.5 months. That's actually a big surprise. That was not. If you had asked me, right, next Bayonetta game, I would not have told you this soon. Right, I would have thought we would have still had a little bit more time, but nope. Again, honestly, this seems to be more like this isn't like your next full-fledged, right, 3D spectacle fighter like Bayonetta 3. This is more of, like, your Trevor Strikes Back, right? A smaller project that, you know, just shows how successful Bayonetta is because it's getting these smaller projects. It looks fine. You know, I'm definitely not going to pick it up, but I didn't pick up Bayonetta 3. I didn't even pick up Bayonetta 2. Always was going to pick up Bayonetta 2 at the end of the Wii U's lifespan. And then just the fucking used game market fucking exploded because everything just got so expensive. Next up, the second I saw it, I was so excited. Earthblade. Oh shit. The new game from, Maddie Thompson? I definitely got something wrong in there. The creator of Celeste. Right? This is their new game that they've been working on. I think they announced it last year. But it's now been officially... God, we got 2 Dynamos. Oh, that fucking sucks. Yeah, this is their... Celeste, also one of my favorite games of all time. And so seeing this, yeah, you better believe I'm fucking excited. Because, yeah, more Celeste. Why wouldn't... I mean, it's going to be different than Celeste, obviously, but another game from the creator of Celeste? Of course I'm excited. Why wouldn't I be? It looks great. The art looks fantastic. Everything about this game looks solid. It's the one thing is its release date isn't for a while. Its release date is 2024. So it's clearly one of those things where it's like it'll be done when it's done. Right? They're going to take their sweet ass time with it and they're going to make something special, but it's going to take a while. But I legitimately I have no problem with that. It's just God, that it's going to be a while, man, but I'm so excited. God, having two Dynamos completely screwed us over. Dynamo is such a fucking... Like, one of them would have been hard enough. But two? Ugh. But yeah, so Earthblade, everything about it looked fantastic. Everything about it looks great. I'm excited. It's going to be a long time, but I will be there. Oh my gosh. Next up, Horizon Forbidden West. They showed off its DLC, which is called The Burning Shores. We're heading down to Hollywood, California. You see the Hollywood sign get destroyed in the trailer. Okay. I still need to... I do now actually own a copy of Horizon Forbidden West, finally. I was thinking, right, out of all the Game of the Year nominees, I own 4 of them. 4 of the 6. And yet I'd only actually... By the time the Game Awards happened, I'd only actually played 1 of them. So, yeah. But yeah, I got a cheap copy of Horizon Forbidden West. I have a copy of Elden Ring. The only ones I didn't... I'm forgetting all the others. The only ones I didn't own were God of War Ragnarok. And I don't own Plague Tale. It might be on Game Pass, but I don't know if I'd count that. I mean, I might, but I probably wouldn't. So yeah, Horizon DLC, you know, it looks good. It looks fun. They also, in the pre-show, they showed off Call of the Mountain again, which still looks fine. Definitely nothing in Call of the Mountain to justify buying a fucking... Oh, the Explosure. God, yeah. Having an Explosure is so great. Nothing to justify buying a fucking $500 VR headset, but it looks fine. Just barely not enough. So yeah, that's okay, that's cool. Next up, we got some Super Mario Brothers movie stuff. And oh my god, Keegan-Michael Key came out to introduce the movie. And right, of course, he's a comedian. He started off with a joke. And he fucking bombed. Oh my god, his joke was so... He was talking about, like, Toad's hat. And you could just tell the entire audience just was not into it. There wasn't even, like, an awkward laugh. He just came out and bombed. That was one of, like, 2 really, like, like, there were some bad moments, and we'll talk about the ending at the end. There were some bad moments, but that was, like, one of, like, 2, like, very awkward cringe moments. Because it was awkward, it was cringe. Right? He was trying, like... I know it was probably just something that was written, like, that morning or whatever. Or somebody else that somebody wrote for him. Still fucking terrible. But yeah, the actual clip from the Super Mario Brothers movie looked fantastic. I still think the movie looks great. The big thing for me from this trailer was the music. As somebody pointed out later on Twitter, there is more Mario music in this 1.5-minute scene than there is in the entirety of both Sonic movies. Which, again, I like the second Sonic movie. I really do. But it's just funny. I find that very funny. That, right, despite all of this, the Sonic, right, this one little clip, and it's filled with music from the Mario series. It's filled with references, right, like all the, like, there's, like, the Crazy Cap Kingdom, there's NES cartridges, there's mushrooms, there's warp pipes, right, everything. This is, right, you know how, like, Marvel, like, there's been talk I've seen talk recently on TikTok, talking about how they were specifically talking about how modern day fantasy shows fucking suck because all of the writers of these fantasy shows fucking hate their source material. Right? Like, the source material they're working with. Right? Like, I've only seen the first season of The Witcher. Which, to be fair, I did like the first season of The Witcher. But I guess the second season of The Witcher just completely strays from the source material. And, like, because the writers of The Witcher show hate it. Like, this is all stuff I found out from after Henry Cavill left the show. Because, yeah, people were talking about it after. I was cornered. I could not get out of there. Right? I guess after... Right, the reason why Henry Cavill left the show was not to go reprise his role as Superman, but because the writers of The Witcher show hate The Witcher. Like, they hate the books. God, I missed. We are doing terrible here. Oh my God, we're fucked. But yeah, so, and that, right, that's a lot of problems with a lot of these fantasy shows. I mean, I know how Game of Thrones ends. Oh my God, do they do that show fucking dirt? Those books and those not games. Do they do the books in the first few seasons of that show fucking dirty at the end? I get the Wheel of Time show, fucking terrible from what I've heard. The second season of The Witcher, the Lord of the Rings show, right? It's just because it's all these studio executives and these writers, these television writers, who think they can write better than these famous books. That's what the big problem comes down to. Is that, right, these showrunners think they're better than these fantasy books. And that's why the Marvel has found such great success. Is because, right, people who make Marvel movies are actual fans of Marvel comics. And that's why DC fucking fails. Because Zack Snyder does not like comic books. Yeah, no, Zack Snyder fucking does not like comic books. I saw the dumbest fucking TikTok earlier today. Just praising Zack Snyder for creating interesting and complex characters when all people want to see are one-dimensional characters. Go fucking straw man. Go fuck yourself, you cunt. But, like, God, if you think Superman is boring, right, and, like, just this boring Boy Scout, you have never read Superman in your life. Fucking idiots. What weapon am I even using? Oh, I've got a squeegee. Oh, shit. So, yeah, but yeah, that's why Marvel finds success. And we were talking about the Mario Brothers movie. That's how this all started. The Mario Brother movie looks like it's going to be successful because the people making it really like Mario Brothers. Like, I know people were lambasting Chris Pratt for not knowing that you can't stop on Koopas in Mario games or whatever the fuck they were, was the complaint of the week. Still, I still think the people behind this movie really like Mario Brothers, and that this movie is going to be successful. I have no doubt after seeing this clip, and again, the music really sells a lot of this for me. Shit. I have no doubt in my mind. Okay, I just gotta survive. Okay, good enough. So yeah, I think it looked great. This clip was great. Everything about this movie I'm excited for. The other awkward moment of the show came right soon after, where the guy in the 90s Crash Bandicoot suit came down. And I think they cut out the face. Like, normally that suit has a face hole. They cut it off. But they had that guy come in. He, came down from the ceiling and introduced the new Crash game. Not a single-player game. It's a multiplayer game. So you know, because it's made by Activision Blizzard King, it's going to have microtransactions, it's going to have loot boxes. They're going to fuck this up somehow. I have full faith that Activision Blizzard King will find a way to fuck this up. Again, $60 myth, we were just talking about it earlier. But, come on! Just perish! Where the I know I probably should have helped at some point. But, God. Because, yeah, everything's right here. Oh, we had a disconnect. Ah, shit, I didn't even notice. But, yeah, this new Crash Bandicoot multiplayer... Honestly, it's Crash Bandicoot League of Legends. That's what it reminds me of. It looks like Crash Bandicoot League of Legends. It looks terrible. We weren't doing it anyways. Three in round. Oh, that would have been awful. So yeah, I think this it's called Crash Team Rumble. It looks like Crash League of Legends to me personally. I have no interest in it. But, well, one, because fuck Activision Blizzard. Fuck, they're gonna fuck it up with microtransactions. 3, because I don't like League of Legends. Right? All reasons to dislike it. Next up, the next thing I got is Cyberpunk. They showed off the Cyberpunk DLC. People still don't trust CD Projekt Red, and I'm glad. You know, it felt like earlier this year, a lot of when they started pushing out the updates, a lot of people started to forgive CD Projekt Red, but it's definitely clear they haven't earned back all their goodwill. They've definitely earned back some of it, that's for sure. But they definitely haven't earned back all of it. And they shouldn't, right? Like, I know, right? It's clear, like, a lot of people have been comparing Cyberpunk and Pokemon recently. Whereas, like, Cyberpunk, right, they do all these screw-ups. And, right, they still haven't earned back their goodwill 2+ years later. Meanwhile, Nintendo puts out, a game that's... From my playthrough of Scarlet and Violet, it is not as bad as the clips I've seen. Right? From what I have seen from Cyberpunk, I have not seen anything as bad as that in Scarlet and Violet. Some people will definitely disagree with me there. They will say it's either equally as bad, if not worse. I think saying it's worse is a very extreme. But yeah, I definitely don't think there's anything in here that's as bad. There's anything in Pokemon that's as bad as some of the shit I've seen in Cyberpunk. And I've seen some shit, I tell you what. But, okay, I'm gonna go deal with this. Oh my god, I missed! Shit. No! Oh my god. There's like 3 of us here. I'm just gonna assume you're good enough. But the one thing, so CD Projekt Red's still on thin ice. I guess, maybe. I don't know. I'm sure there's some people who have 100% forgiven them. I mean, The Witcher is getting its next-gen update in, like, a week. But, the one thing in this new trailer that did, in theory, get me excited. So, right, it was a super popular decision to put Keanu Reeves in the, Cyberpunk, right, as Johnny Silverhand. Super cool, super popular. Right. This DLC, Phantom Liberty, got fucking Idris Elba, who is fucking awesome. That's 2 great actors in this game, man. And Idris Elba's been in video games before. I mean, I know he literally played Knuckles for the Sonic movie. But yeah. God, giving us 2 of like any weapon just makes this so much harder. 2 Snipe Rider or 2 fucking 2 fucking snipers, 2 rollers. But yeah, so that's cool, but will I play it? Probably not. I don't know. I own it. I got a used copy of Cyberpunk for like $5 sometime like December of last year. And I kind of have it sitting on my shelf right now next to my copy of Marvel's Avengers that I also got for $5. Oh my god, those 2 combo. Be fine. So yeah, whatever. One of the last, whatever. One of the last announcements of the show was Armored Core. I had heard a rumor of, right, that we're going to get the new Armored Core. Did not realize we were up to Armored Core 6. Didn't know that. So this is from Software, right? This is the series they did before Dark Souls, right? And I definitely feel like pre-Dark Souls from Software and now post-from Dark Souls from Software are going to be 2 different studios, relatively speaking. Now, I have been given the recommendation where, if you've never played Armored Core before, but you'd like to, what do you play? I have been told, play Armored Core... I want to say it was 3... Oh, fuck. I think it was play 3? Play 3, then play 4, and then just skip 5 entirely. Yeah, that sounds right. Fuck, I meant to write it down and I didn't. But right, because 5 was an Xbox 360 game. And I want to say, 4 was an Xbox 360 game. But yeah, those are the Armored Core games you play. Just skip all the others, and you should be fine. Oh my god, we had to disconnect right at the very end. Okay, let's just survive. Fucking revive me! Fucking... Can we... We might be able to survive this 13 seconds, but that maw is going to make it hard. Oh, God, and we might have fucking big wave after this. Shit! Well, there goes our Kohozuna run. God, please, please give me the Grizzco Blaster. Yeah, I'm, you know, I want to play Elden Ring. I want to play Dark Souls at some point. But that's definitely not something I have to do, like, eminently. Get out of the fucking way, Kohozuna. We literally can't get to shit because you're right there. We're so fucked. What a waste of a Kohozuna run. And what a terrible weapon set to do with it. Like, absolutely just fucked. Right? A fucking Tentabella, a Nozzle Nose, and a Luna Blaster. God, that's a terrible weapon combo. We were so fucked. Like, even if we had a fourth player, that's pretty bad. That's a pretty bad weapon combination. I fucking hate Kohozuna, man. It's so cool, and yet fighting it is always miserable. So yeah, Armored Core was the last announcement of the night. That's how they ended it off. Other announcements that I did not talk about. I know there's a bunch of like major announcements I didn't even fucking mention. Mostly because I kind of don't care. Like Death Stranding 2. I haven't played the first Death Stranding. I do one day. One day I'm going to pick up the director's cut and try it out. Because I hear that actually makes the game playable. Right? Strand type game. But for the moment, nah. I'm good with Death Stranding. Jedi Survivor, did not play Jedi Fallen Order. I always kind of thought I was going to eventually, but I never did. Maybe, I think it's on Game Pass. Maybe I will one day, but that's not anytime soon. Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8. I just don't care. I've heard lots of great things about Street Fighter 6. And I've definitely heard it's the most accessible fighting game in a while. Okay, we have But I just, at this moment, I have no interest. If I'm just being honest, yeah, at this moment, I think I'm good. Final Fantasy 16. It's Final Fantasy 16. Okay. It definitely looks more like it's doing very specific things. Not things I entirely love, but there's technically no problem with that. I just kind of find it uninteresting. Oh, look at that sweater. So, yeah, and there were so many other announcements, just so much other stuff in there. I only really wrote down the stuff I, like, seriously cared about. But there was plenty of other stuff in there that I just didn't write down. Oh, the map just switched over. Okay. Okay, the map just switched over. Yeah, that makes sense. So we are going to continue with... We still got plenty of more Big Run tonight. God, I would love to break 100. I don't think it's going to... I've been doing terrible all fucking night. So I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll definitely try. But before then, so we've talked about the announcements. Okay, yeah, we've talked about the announcements. Let's talk about the winners. And I guess I should have talked about it during the announcement. We'll talk about it at the end. The fucking kid. We'll talk about the kid at the end. So yeah, So, as you know, I made a prediction chart of who was going to win, who was going to lose. We did that on stream, I don't know, a few weeks ago. And so I've got my prediction chart, and we're just going to go over all the categories. Alright, can we zoom in on this a little bit? Yeah, okay, that's a little better. So, we're just going to go down. So, I'll be honest, I started off the night really well. And if you look through all of these, it's honestly very solid, right? My prediction, there is red in here, but I feel like I've done a lot worse in previous years. This year, like the first 10 awards, I nailed. And then things started to fall apart once God of War Ragnarok kept winning everything. But I started off extremely strong. So, right, best esport, Valorant, obviously. Most anticipated game, Tears of the Kingdom. I don't have fan favorite game in here. It went to Genshin Impact, which I probably would have predicted, but goddamn did Sonic fans try their hardest. That was probably Sonic Frontiers getting... Not that I think Sonic Frontiers was like a game of the year or anything, not even fucking close. It's just Sonic fans are very passionate. They came out in support of their game, and it got fucking lost. It lost to a gacha game that botted everything. Of course people were disappointed. Of fucking course. Right? The gacha that promised to give, that if they won, they'd give their players, fucking Roblox in-game currency or whatever. So yeah. Of course they won. And there was a whole right, because Jeff Keighley even brings up, like, did they bot or not? He actually did bring that up at one point, saying that, no, we got rid of all the bot votes. Do people believe that? Of course not. Like, why should they? But yeah, Sonic Frontiers was probably the second biggest snub of the night. I can tell you what the first one was. It's pretty obvious. Arcane winning for best adaptation. I know people liked Cyberpunk. I know Cyberpunk was good, but I heard the ending was shit. But Arcane, I know people loved. Cyberpunk is one of the best animes. Arcane, from what I've heard, is one of the best shows. I don't know, I haven't actually watched it. I was hoping for Vampire Survivors to at least win something. Stray won. I really should have put more money into Stray. It was nominated for Game of the Year. It was not. It was one of those things that in hindsight I should have done. But no, I really want... In a different year, Vampire Survivors would have been nominated for Game of the Year. It would have been nominated for so many different awards. Okay, not so many, but it would have been nominated for like 2 or 3 more. But nope, it only had this one. This one fucking award. Content Creator of the Year, it was cool Nibelian was there. It was never going to be Nibelian. It was going to be Ludwig, obviously. Because, and hey, unlike previous years, I had actually heard of Ludwig. I've also heard of Cutie Cinderella, but, This is probably the first year I've heard of, not all of them, but a majority of the content creators of the year. That's probably the first time that, having, 6 nominees, having heard of 3 of them, it might have been 5. That's, I don't think, ever happened before. Oh, I'm bleeding. Whatever. Best multiplayer game. I just, I'm glad Splatoon 3 won. Splatoon 3 is a fantastic game. But I just feel like in the grand scheme of things, I feel like Nintendo games, when it comes to multiplayer or best ongoing, or best community... Okay, definitely Nintendo should never win best community support. But best ongoing game, I feel like Nintendo just constantly gets forgotten. So that's why I said Multiverses, because, I just feel like Nintendo never gets enough credit for all, the multiplayer games they do. But no, Splatoon did win, and I think it's a well-deserved win. I love the game. It's not that I don't trust the game itself. It's more that I don't trust the people who vote on the gaming awards. Because, well, they don't always give Nintendo the short end of the stick. Right, usually Nintendo walks away with the Nintendo category, and that's it. That's usually the only thing Nintendo walks away with most years. I know they won Game of the Year once. Still. Like, last year they walked away with... Last year they didn't even win Best Nintendo Game. They lost it to It Takes Two. Right? Of course they did walk away with, I think, Action, but still. Let's see. So, Sports Test Racing, I knew Ollie Ollie World wasn't going to win, but I just didn't want another boring racing game to win. Guess what? Another boring racing/sports game did. Okay. Sim/strategy, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. It won. Yeah, no, it was a great... Honestly, again, the only other thing I had heard of on that list was Victoria 3. And I would have been fine with that, Paradox Games taking another one. But no, Mario plus Rabbids is a great game. I'm glad they got that win. The best Nintendo game went to, of course, the best Nintendo game of the year, potentially, maybe, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. Should it have been nominated for Game of the Year? Again, Xenoblade is such a great nomination for Game of the Year. It was never gonna fucking win. If Kirby and the Forgotten Lands had been nominated, it was never gonna fucking win. But I could see the argument. Best fighting game was obviously going to go to Multiverses. No question, no doubt in my mind. Everything else, I mean, JoJo, whatever, them fighting herds, whatever. No, it was obviously Multiverses. And they did have a short little tribute to Kevin Conroy. Not there, but during the part about the Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, we found out that Kevin Conroy is, for his last time, will be reprising his role as Batman in that game. Which is very cool, because, like, I played Gotham Knights. Kevin Conroy is not Batman in that game. And you can very clearly tell. It's cool he's going to be Batman one more time for that. This is probably my biggest upset of the night. Honestly, I know God of War swept a lot of things, but this was my big upset. I know Elden Ring is technically a role-playing game. I know you can go into it and you can build a character and you can play a different role. Yes, it fits every qualification of a role-playing game. It's even technically a JRPG, which is very traditional. But if you had shown someone Xenoblade Chronicles and then shown them Elden Ring and asked which one is a role-playing game, they would pick Xenoblade Chronicles. Of course, if you show them either and then show them Live Alive, they would pick Live Alive. Because that's very traditional. Literally, this was a category Nintendo was poised to sweep. Because the only game that they didn't have that was nominated was Elden Ring. Every other nomination in Best Role-Playing Game was a Nintendo game. And you'd kind of hope that maybe they'd give, like, a gimme. Right? Because we all knew Elden Ring was going to win Game of the Year. So why not give Xenoblade Best RPG? I mean, that's what they did with Bayonetta. Because, right, we all knew God of War Ragnarok was going to win fucking everything else. So, of course, right, give Bayonetta action game. But nope, it went to Elden Ring. Admittedly, Elden Ring did not sweep as much as I thought it was going to. But still. This is probably the biggest upset of the night. In my opinion, yep, best role-playing game. Which, that's just history repeating itself. Xenoblade infamously got snubbed at the Game Awards, not even getting nominated for best role-playing game. Xenoblade 2. And yep, getting snubbed to Elden Ring this year. Yep, makes perfect sense. I know, right, Jeff Keighley even made a point that, hey, look, for all those people who are saying Xenoblade was going to get snubbed, look, it's nominated for Game of the Year. And then it still gets fucking snubbed. Doesn't surprise me at all. I think it and Horizon are stuck in this legacy of being snubbed forever. I think that's just it. They're amazing games. I've heard many people say Xenoblade Chronicles is better than Elden Ring. Straight up, I've heard that. Of course, Elden Ring is. Again, it goes back to the Elden Ring God of War thing. I've heard God of War is an amazing game. Elden Ring is one of the best games of all time. But I've also heard people say Xenoblade 3 is the best game of all time. It's just more people will play Elden Ring. And yeah, I kind of get it. Action Adventure went to God of War. Of course it did. Action game, I thought they were going to give something to Neon White. right? Like, I figured God of War was going to win action adventure, and action are such fucking nebulous categories. Like, really, they tell me fucking nothing about anything. But, you know, I could have seen... I know a lot of people like Neon White. But it going to Bayonetta 3 makes a lot of sense. You know? Okay, I get that one. Okay. Right, makes sense. It's another win on Nintendo's part. Was this... I think this was the one... Because out of all the awards Nintendo won, I think Doug Bowser accepted this one, the best Nintendo game, and he accepted this one. All the other... Because the Game Awards does this weird thing where, like, they'll have people come up on stage for some of the bigger awards, and then they'll just do, like, 5 awards at once. So, right, things like content creator, fighting game... And they give off, like, 3 awards in the pre-show as well. But, like, all of these categories are just given out at, like, the same time, in one, like, quick succession. It's really weird when you think about it. Again, I know multiplayer is technically not part of this. But yeah, they do weird shit like that. That's just the Game Awards thing. I mean, in theory, it makes for a tighter show. And you know, fucking Jeff Keighley definitely thinks that it's a good thing. Especially after Christopher Judge and the fucking end. But we'll get to that. So yeah, Bayonetta, another good win. Right? And having the new game announced, great synergy. Innovation and accessibility, this is a Sony award, because, you know, they created this award for Sony. Because Sony really does take a lot of care in putting accessibility in their games. Right? Like, that really does matter to them. And yeah, of course, right, Last of Us 1 remake was technically up this year. But I knew it was going to be God of War Ragnarok. VR, you know, I was rooting for it because, you know, it seems fun. But Moss Book 2, I'd heard great things about Moss Book 1. I do technically own it. I just haven't played it. But yeah, I'm fine with that. Final Fantasy 14. I swear I remember last year saying that Final Fantasy 14 was going to sweep the Game Awards. And then it just didn't happen. Right? I expected so much, like Final Fantasy to win all these awards, and then it just didn't. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, was that last year? Or did I say that in, like, July? And then just assume that it was last year. Because, you know, we can no longer fucking tell time anymore. I can't tell. I legitimately can't tell. No, last year, I have 2 things for Final Fantasy XIV winning, and it won both of them. For Best Ongoing and Best Community Support. And it won Best Community Support and Best Ongoing. So I guess I did call it last year and just assumed they would pick something different this year. Okay, I hadn't actually looked that up. Yeah, I just pulled it up on my phone. But yeah, Final Fantasy XIV. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I knew I remembered but for some reason when I remember listening to I must have listened to like a podcast about Final Fantasy XIV over the summer, and maybe that's why I was thinking about it again. I don't know. It's one of those things that's like super obvious, kind of like Stray winning again. It's super obvious in hindsight, and I don't know why I just didn't do it. Best mobile game was going to go to Marvel Snap. I've heard nothing but great things about Marvel Snap. I have no interest in playing it. I'm kind of done with deck builders forever. But I've heard nothing but good things. Best indie game, you know, it's always one of my most excited categories. I should have said Stray. You know, it was nominated for Game of the Year. But I'd heard a lot of good things about Cult of the Lamb. I don't know, I haven't played it. But I'd heard a lot of good things, you know, I thought maybe. But no, it's obvious Stray was going to take it. Honestly, that was just a misstep on my part. Best ongoing game. I mean, maybe if the Fortnite event had happened like a month earlier, things would have been different. But no, it went to Final Fantasy XIV again. You know, I really fucking hate these 2 categories. Best community and best ongoing. Because I feel like it's just the same fucking games every year. And where the fuck is Mario Kart 8 in this? Right? You know, and I think it's just that stuff that the one, next year. Both Splatoon 3 and Mario Kart 8 are not going to be nominated for this category. Even though they're still ongoing, they're still getting DLC. The Mario Kart 8 DLC is fantastic. But nope. Instead, it's just going to be Fortnite, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, a Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty Warzones, or whatever. It's the same 5 games every fucking year. That's why I hate these categories. I know Final Fantasy 14 only got nominated for the first time last year. I still fucking hate these 2 categories. Whatever. I mean, they're not as bad as the esports one, but that's just because I don't care about esports. Games for Impact, I have As Dusk Man, but, like, it was obviously As Dusk Falls. Yeah, I don't know why, I just misspelled it and never changed it. Yeah, that obvious, cool. The Games for Impact is always a good game, I'm always, right, it's always, I haven't played As Dusk Falls, but I've played a few years from the past few years, and yeah, they're always good games. Best performance went to Christopher Judge. This was the first, like, major award they opened the show with. And Al Pacino came up to give away the award. And he talked for, like, 10 minutes. Then Christopher Judge came up to accept the award. And he went on for 20 minutes. And it was, like, after, like, you just gotta play him off, man. And then he just kept going. And you could tell, like, afterwards, that Jeff Keighley was fucking pissed at him. Right? Like, you could just hear it in his voice that he was pissed. And he kept referring to it throughout the night. Like, oh, let's not go as long as Christopher Judge did. Right? Like, that clearly annoyed the crap out of him. But yeah, it makes sense. I know he gave a good performance. It was just a really long speech. And you could tell after that, every time somebody came up, they were like, get them off the stage immediately. Right? Like, oh, you get a minute, and then boom, the music's gonna start playing. And definitely after what happened with the Elden Ring thing, oh my god, they're gonna play it so fucking tight in future years. Yeah, this is a mistake, right? All rules are written in blood, and this is a mistake Jeff Keighley's not gonna make again. Obviously. Best audio design and best score, I was predicting Elden Ring. I've heard great things about their music. But nope, God of War Ragnarok took them both. That's actually kind of surprising for me. Best score? I guess, I didn't know this, but I guess they literally created a brand new instrument just to make the music for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Like, because one of the best parts of every Game Award every year is the Game Awards orchestra. Having this orchestra come off and play music from all these fantastic games is one of my favorite segments every year. And the flute guy who came out to play, right, who was playing on the Game Awards orchestra, fucking killed it. I've seen him like on Twitter today, and just being like so thankful that everybody loves his work. Yeah, he fucking killed it. And like because they created a brand new instrument for Xenoblade, and he literally, right, he does a flute change like between, right, God of War, Horizon, and just into Xenoblade, and then he goes back, like he does like 3 instrument changes. It's super impressive. They knew it was impressive because the camera was focusing on him. Just fantastic work from him. So yeah, it's on, and I've heard nothing but great things about Elden Ring's music as well. So I'm honestly surprised that God of War Ragnarok won both of these awards. Again, Xenoblade got snubbed again. But I expected Elden Ring to win more awards. And nope, these were 2 that I expected it to sweep, and nope, it just didn't. Best art direction, I just kind of figured. Elden Ring looks beautiful from what I've seen. I know God of War has its moments as well, but I've been blown away by Elden Ring. So yeah, that makes sense. Best narrative was obvious. I know Elden Ring's got some good narrative stuff, but they like to, Souls-like games like to bury some of their stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. But definitely when I think best narrative, I definitely think of something more like God of War Ragnarok. That makes sense. Best game direction, I think this was the award Reggie gave away. And yeah, of course, it went to Elden Ring. And the second it went to Elden Ring, I was like, yeah, a Game of the Year is going to Elden Ring as well, obviously. I mean, like, I already knew, but this was my confirmation. Because that's how it works in the Oscars as well. Whoever wins Best Director, 9 times out of 10, they win Best Movie, Best Picture. And then Game of the Year, Elden Ring. They come out, they give their speeches, and in the background, while Miyazaki's giving his speech, you see this kid in the background. And, like, you can immediately tell that, just watching it, you can tell something's up. Because, like, he's clearly just trying to get on camera. You can tell something's off. And then they give the speech, and, right, Miyazaki and his crew start walking off, and this kid comes up to the mic, Kanye West style, and says, "Oh, I would like to thank my rabbi, therapist, or whatever, Bill Clinton," and then walks away. And it was like, what the fuck was that? Did I just hear that right? Like, what? Rabbi Bill Clinton, what? And that's how the show... And then it cut back to Jeff Keighley real quick. He gave off his ending notes, and the show ended. And then immediately, Jeff Keighley tweeted out, "The kid who went on stage has been arrested." The other thing that was tweeted out almost immediately was about who this kid was, saying that he was some kid from InfoWars, right? He had been on InfoWars, which is, Alex Jones' extremely racist, anti-Semitic thing, and him talking about Rabbi Bill Clinton, and with everything that's happened with Kanye in the past week, like, it's very clear that, was this, right, this is definitely something like Fucky, this is definitely them trying to push their narratives about, Jews controlling Hollywood, or whatever, right, whatever fucking the lie of the week is, fucking Kanye, all that bullshit. But, so that was like, in the, like, hour after this happened, there was, right, all these things about this guy, this kid, being some, right, anti-Semitic InfoWars guy. And then it seemed to inverse on itself, because I guess Jason Schreier interviewed him, and his name's like Matan or something like that, Matan, and he's Jewish. Like, he's Jewish himself. This wasn't some... And, like, they say, like, this kid's been on InfoWars. Not a single clip has surfaced of him being on InfoWars. Not that I've seen, anyways. But no, this kid is, like, actually Jewish himself, and he's just a prankster, and he most likely just went on stage and said the first thing that came to his mind. But yeah, this is definitely going to change the Game Awards forever, right? Like, from here on out, it's Jeff knows how many people are there, how many people are going up with you, right? Like, things are going to change from this. But it was so fucky. Like, you could tell, like, something's up with this kid, and then, right, him taking the mic, and just everything that's happened with Kanye in this past few weeks, you could tell something was fucky there, and it still feels fucky even a day later, right? Even knowing that, right, he's just some Jewish prankster, something still feels fucky about it. It's kind of really hard to say, but... Yeah, and again, that's just the details I know at this moment. It's been a little over 24 hours, but yeah. So yeah, that was the awards. So of the 27 awards, I failed at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 8, 9, 10, 11. So I got 11 wrong, and I got, 16 right? That's not bad. I think my last year I was literally split 50-50. Let's see, last year I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so I guess I didn't actually... Admittedly, there was one less award last year. Yeah, there was one less award last year. Yeah, so I got, 13, 12. So I did a little better this year. I mean... it's better than my Oscar predictions. If you've ever seen my Oscar predictions, I think one year I literally got 3 right. Best Picture and like 2 other things. It was awful. Yeah, the game. You know, there are some things that are like super odd, right? Like that was obvious. These were obvious. I thought these were obvious, but yeah, these were obvious. I mean, I fucked up the stray stuff, but yeah. You know, it wasn't. I mean, again, I started super strong because these are not the order the awards are given. I should say, right? Like, best performance was like one of the first awards given out. Some of these were in the pre-show, so yeah, it's a whole thing. But that's the Game Awards this year. Not a bad showing, honestly. Right, like I said earlier, right? If it had just been Hades 2, I would have still been like, yeah, this was a great showing. But there was so much other good stuff on top of that. You know, there were some good wins, there were some good moments. I did not win a Steam Deck this year. Nope, that did not happen. But yeah, it was the Game Awards. You know, I always go into it expecting worse, and then come out being like, that's not too bad. And yeah, not too bad this year. Could have been better, but, you know, I don't think the Game Awards will ever be perfect. Because the inherent problem is that it's an award show. And those will always have problems. Right? There's just inherently something... Like, even things that are like the Ig Nobel Prizes, that are very fun and very creative. Even those can, right, suffer from some of the same problems as other award shows. Because that's just the way things are. Alright, so I guess that takes us into WIBE. And we'll back into Splatoon here. So what have I been doing? Well, I played Vampire Survivors, right? I said that earlier. It came out on mobile. And I was... Oh, God. Where was I? I was sitting in I was getting like a soda. And so I was sitting in a drive-thru when I saw the tweet. And was like, oh, let's download this fucking immediately. So I did. And I definitely like Vampire Survivor better on console. I like actually having a joystick that I can fully control. Because, right, not having, like, you can add, like, an imaginary joystick. But there's something about, like, actually having the feedback of a joystick on a controller that I really like. I've tried both horizontal in vertical, you know, portrait and landscape. And it's... Okay, oh yeah, they're over on this side. It works fine. It works about the same either way. Part of me wishes the screen was zoomed in a little bit more, but I also think that would be a bad idea. Like, I know one of the inherent... Right, and this goes back to the Game Boy. One of the inherent problems with mobile games is you only have so much screen space to work with. And while it's been less of an issue in recent years... It still technically is like a thing. So yeah, I kind of wish the screen was zoomed in a little bit more. I'm definitely not great at it. I can't fucking remember, how do you unlock more levels? Because right, you start off, as far as I know, it's the entire game. But so far, I've only seen the grass level. And I'm unsure, like, do you unlock the next level by reaching level 30? I don't know how you unlock new levels in the game, like new stages. Because I'm assuming everything's there. Right? Because from what the reveal at the Game Awards, it sounded like it's the full game. Right? That's what they made it sound like. And again, I would have happily paid money for it. I'm probably going to buy it on Steam, right? It's on sale right now on Steam. I know it's like $1 off. And it's a $5 game anyways. But I'm probably going to buy it on Steam anyways this week. And when it comes to Switch, I'll happily buy it again. Right? It's just one of those good games. So yeah, I think the mobile port works, right? I definitely am missing something. Because I swear off the bat, when I played on Xbox, I could just select a stage. But yeah, so I've definitely got some things to learn. I've definitely got to play it more. But, you know, Well, I want a Switch port. I really do. I think that one-handed Joy-Con experience is going to be really nice. This is fine. This will still zap my productivity, not as much as a Switch port would have, but it will still definitely take me away for a while. You know, it gives me something else to do. It gives me, while I'm waiting for like an oil change, it gives me something to do other than play Mini Metro, which I've put so much time into Mini Metro on mobile. So that's nice, I guess. But we'll have to see how that goes in the coming days and weeks. But yeah, so far, I think I definitely like it on console more. But the mobile port's not, and it's not like there's no performance issues. Everything runs fine. It's just I like the feedback better on console. That's it. I like playing with the controller better. That's it. That's really what it all comes down to. Other than that, I think it's a fine port, and I hope it comes to Switch soon. Right? I mean, if it came to mobile, it can come to Switch any minute now. So we'll just have to wait and see. What else have I been playing? So I played the new Mario Kart DLC, and I think Merry Mountain is a fine course. I liked Merry Mountain. It's fine. I don't, as I've said before, I don't hate the city tracks. Tracks like Berlin Byway and London Loop. Nope, I don't hate them. I definitely don't love them, but I don't hate them either. Right? I don't hate tracks like that. And because what I like about them is how they change. Right? How every lap is a little different. It's like the new Peach Gardens, where your first lap on the new Peach Gardens, your first 2 laps are different than your 3rd lap. I find that very interesting. So yeah, I don't know, I just find stuff like that interesting. I think visually the new tracks, the tracks are looking, right? I feel like every update, the tracks get a little better, because that was people's biggest complaint, is the visuals. And so I feel like Nintendo responded by making the visuals better. Like, straight up. I just feel like they've spent maybe not more time on it, but they've just made them look more solid. Because the big track and the big standout here, I'm trying to figure what cup ends the rock. The rock course is Berlin Byway, or London Loop, Rock Mountain, Boo Lake, and I don't remember what the 4th one is. I'm forgetting a map on the Rock Cup. And then the Moon Cup is Berlin Byway, something I'm forgetting, Merry Mountain, and then finally ending off with 3DS Rainbow Road. 3DS Rainbow Road, it's one of my favorite Mario Kart tracks. It's up there with Waluigi Pinball. I really like 3DS's Rainbow Road. It was one of the first courses to do instead of having 3 laps, it's just one very long lap. Right, that's divided into 3 segments. And honestly, I think it does it very well. All 3 of the different phases, right? Driving on the rings of Saturn, driving on the moon, right through the tube, through all the rainbow. I think the map looks great. I think the rainbow on the Rainbow Road looks fantastic. I know Peach Gardens. I don't remember which cup Peach Gardens is in. Is Peach Gardens the one I'm forgetting in Rock Cup? I don't know. But yeah, I'm just, I really like it. I really like Rainbow Road. Merry Mountain's fine. It's a little simple, honestly. I wish there was a little bit more complexity there. But other than that, I think it's a fine track. The tour tracks are fine. Peach Gardens is actually a track I really liked in DS, and I still think it's fine. And there's one track I'm forgetting. Rock Mountain, I know people think is a very bland, unmemorable track. And, I mean, yeah, it's definitely, like, there are other, like, mountain tracks that I would definitely say are more memorable. I.e., fucking any of the DK mountains. But I don't think it's bad. I don't, like, actual, like, design-wise, it may be kind of forgettable, but I don't think it's actually a bad track. Shit. By any means. So yeah, all the new tracks are great. The other thing though, and we didn't know about this until the DLC released, was that on top of adding in all these new tracks, we're now seeing the Smash Brosification of Mario Kart. What that means is they're making Mario Kart like more like... I'm all aboard the Nintendo Kart thing. Right? I'm all aboard Mario Kart, the next Mario Kart being Nintendo Kart. But we're seeing elements of that here. Because they've updated it. So as before, there were like item presets. Like, oh, you want to use, you want to use the, like, oh, there's normal items, there's just bananas, there's just mushrooms, there's, just coins, right? Or something like that. Like, there were frantic items that, you know, gave you more bombs and more blue shells, stuff like that. The new update, just fully, like Smash Bros., allows you to fully customize your items. And it's fantastic. Being able to fully customize your items is great. Of course, the first thing everybody did was turn on all blue shells. And it's as amazing as you'd expect it to be. All blue shells is super great, frantic, and fun, and, you know, all blue shells, 200cc Baby Park, great idea. Great idea. It ends in utter fucking chaos. Great idea, though. Shit. Okay, nope, I was trying to get away. Because they were shooting at the thing with their weapon, but you have to hit the backside. That was their problem. They weren't hitting the backside. So yeah, being able, right, customize, do whatever items you want. Oh, you want all blue shells? You want to get rid of the worst item in the game, coins? So that way, you know, you're not getting useless shit. Yep, you can go ahead and do that. You want to do nothing but coins to, you know, make it pure racing. You want to just turn off item. You know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think Smash Bros. Should be played with items, and I think Mario Kart should be played with items. I know, oh, well, don't you want to see a true player skill? Yes, I do. And the game is intended to be played with items, and being able to fight against and survive items shows your skill in the game. That's how it works in Mario Kart. That's how it works in Smash Bros. I know it's a controversial take for sure. Specifically, I don't think it's that controversial with Mario Kart. I know it's super fucking controversial with Smash Bros. But yep, nope, I stand by that. Oh, the 96 gal. Okay, whatever. I can work with it. You know, I'm adaptable. So, one of the things, you know, just going off topic here for a second. Or, you know, technically on topic as Splatoon. One of the things with this big run is that there are supposed to be enemies that give, giant golden eggs. Like, that's how people are getting to 200. Is that there are enemies that drop giant golden eggs. But so far, we just haven't seen any of them. And yeah, that's a real concern. I thought I was... I slipped back into its grasp at the last minute. Oh, and it got two of us. Ugh. I hope somebody's at the basket just putting stuff in. Yeah, somebody is. So yeah, but yeah, so the Mario Kart DLC is fantastic. You know, I really hope that, right, they keep right in, because, you know, they literally, all they had to do was add new tracks. Right, adding this new customization feature, completely unnecessary. I'm glad they do it. Right, I know a lot of people call this DLC very lazy, and, you know, I feel like, and like, when the first wave came out, I got it. But now 3 waves in, Nintendo is clearly putting in more effort than we originally gave them credit for. Not as much as some people would like. Again, some people want Mario Kart, or Mario Kart 2, 8, 9, or I personally want Nintendo Kart. But this isn't bad. This, honestly, I hope they keep doing stuff like this. I hope we get, I really hope we get, fucking, more characters. I would gladly pay for a character pass. Right? At another, like, I don't know, $15? Yeah, I would gladly pay for a character pass. Well, we'll actually see about that. Because, yeah, I really do think they need to add Kirby into this game at some point. And Mario Kart needs Kirby. Oh, shit. But, we'll see if that ever actually happens. God damn it, even with all that, it wasn't enough. So yeah, so I played Mario Kart, I played Vampire Survivors, what else? I know, there's the big one, but I'm seeing if I did anything else. What the fuck is my list? Oh, I played What the Golf. So What the Golf is, I played it before, I played some, I don't think I'd actually beaten it before. It's a golf game on Switch, it's on other platforms, of course, I think it was a mobile game first. But it's a game that, you know, experiments around with the ideas of golfing, right? Like, what wacky things can we do with the concept of golfing? And you get tons of wacky and creative concepts through it, right? Like, some of the, it starts off very simple. Like, oh, what if golfing, but instead of hitting the ball, you hit the golfer? Oh, what if golfing, but instead you're using a soccer ball? Right? It starts off super simple. But then they just throw... This is a game that throws everything at the wall. And just, yep, and it's not just like, oh, let's throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. It's, let's throw everything at the wall. But also, never spend too long on a single concept. Like, it's not the type of game that would put, like, 1,000 hours into, like, one concept. Right? It's ready to move on almost immediately. To do whatever the next thing is. Like there's, for example, like, they do, gyroscope golf, right? Like, they make golf into a first-person shooter. Fun concept, right? And you get some fun levels out of it. But as soon as it starts, right, they move on and they do something else. They move on to fucking, right? And, like, they make, like, shooting gallery golf. And yeah, they just kind of do a little bit of everything. And, you know, there's bowling golf, there's soccer golf. I don't think they ever do American football. They do... Do they do tennis? I can't remember if they do tennis or not. It's just a bunch of different types of golf. And, like, there's one point where you're oh, nice. Where you get, like, a chainsaw. And right now you're cutting down leaves. You're using bouncy balls. It becomes a platformer at one point. And it never gets too hard. Definitely it can get up there when you're trying to, like, 100% complete things, which I did do, obviously. Because, this is one of those games that's like, oh, I think... Normally I say, like, oh, it's a game you can beat in 2 hours in 100% in, 4. Yeah, no, I think it takes 4 hours to beat this one, and you can 100% it in, like, 6. There were some, most of the levels are pretty straightforward. But there's one level where you have to play as a crab, and you have to rescue, like, 7 other crabs. And you're dealing with rising water. That was the hardest level in the game. That level was, like... Because you can only, like... You have to, like, charge up. And then your crab lunges forward. And you're just not fast enough. And I just couldn't beat it. Eventually I got... And I, like, looked up, like... Oh, am I doing something wrong? And then, like, the videos I looked up on YouTube... Nobody beat it either. And it was like, what the... Come on. I did find out from the comment section, though, of those videos... that if you're playing on Switch, you can just undock your Switch and flick it with your finger. Flick the crab with your finger, and it moves a lot faster. And that's how you beat it. Is you flick the crab with your finger, and now it go right, and boom, you can get all the crabs in time. So that's what I did. Right, I flicked the crab with my finger, and sure enough, and that was maybe the hardest level in the thing. A lot of the other ones were, just straight up jokes. But I beat them all. I beat the game, and yeah. And the reason why I was thinking about it was because of the game, What the Bat. So the studio that did What the Golf recently did a VR game called What the Bat. I have not played it. It is not on PlayStation VR. I would love to give it a shot one of these days, but I think it's MetaQuest exclusive or something. I don't know the exact details, but I would love to give it a shot one day. Oh my god, are those... Okay, well, it sucked we got killed. It was funny to see the one thing take out the other thing. That was funny. Honestly, I thought we had delivered way more than 16. So yeah, what the golf? Yeah, I think I bought it on sale on Switch a while ago. But yeah, it's a very simple, because I think I played it the first. It was an Apple Arcade game, right? Or whatever the Google Play equivalent of Apple Arcade is. I don't remember what it's called. I just remember what Apple Arcade is. But yeah, they recently made What the Bat, so I was curious about that. But I was like, yeah, I'll play What the Golf again. Because when Apple Arcade launched, it was like, oh, they're going to try to make mobile games, or, make mobile games good again. And that's definitely not what happened. This is a fucking terrible loadout. Holy shit. Fucking Snipe Rider, not Bamboozler. Fucking Snipe Rider. God, what's the... GooTuber. God, these are all terrible fucking weapons. I mean, on their own, with, like, a team that knows what they're doing, these weapons would be fine, right? Having a GooTuber, a Hydra, or an E-Leader. On a team, these would all... Right, we could work with all these. But getting all 4 of them in one turn... That's some terrible fucking luck. That's absolutely garbage luck. We have to get that quota as soon as possible. And then just fucking... Oh. and then just fucking survive. Honestly, now, objective, survive. The one thing I do like about the Sniper Raider is that it can take out with one single full charge. Honestly, this could have gone so much worse. For having 4 fucking long-range sniping weapons. I know the Hydra is the one exception here. This could have gone so much worse. So yeah, What the Golf is a good game. I recommend it. And then the last game I picked up, which was also on sale, because, yeah, was Stray. I picked up Stray, because, you know, I wanted to, before the Game Awards, at least play one game nominated for Game of the Year. And yes, I own Elden Ring. I didn't want to play that one. Didn't want to... Nope. Same thing with Horizon. I want to play the... I've never beaten Horizon Zero Dawn. Got to do that one first. So that kind of left Stray... And I can't do God of War Ragnarok either. Plus, I'm not paying the money for that. But Stray, for like... I don't even think I paid $20 for it. Yeah. I might have paid exactly 20. But yeah, Stray for that much? Yeah, I could pay that much for it. You know, that's not a bad price. So I picked up Stray, and I played through it. And it's good. It's a good game, that Stray. I get why it was nominated for Game of the Year. Would I have given it a nomination over something like Kirby? Probably not. But at least one, I always say, every Game Awards, at least one indie game has to be nominated for Game of the Year. And while I definitely think something like Vampire Survivors is more... I would rather have seen it, honestly. Because, I don't know, Stray, I mean, Stray is an indie game. But it doesn't feel like an indie game. Does that make sense? I know that sounds weird. But Stray doesn't, like, these other, like, that, like, right? Like, Vampire Survivors feels like an indie game. Cult of the Lamb feels like an indie game. Stray, I mean... The fact that, again, you can beat it in, like, 3 hours. I mean, I guess, yeah, indie game? It's just, it doesn't feel as... it's weird. It's weird. I know it totally... Because, yeah, you can beat the game... I say 3. I'd probably beat it in 4, actually. 76. Okay, still haven't beaten my record. It's just... I like it. I do like it. It's really good. It will probably make my Game of the Year list. Yeah. So earlier I mentioned Big-Headed Child in Scary World. So if you don't know, there's a subgenre of platformer coined by Yahtzee Croshaw called Big-Headed Child in Scary World. It originated with Limbo, and then, right, it was used later to describe games like Inside, or that one game about shadows. Right? It's a very specific... Big-Headed Child in a Scary World... I can't think of too many examples, but right, the main two are Limbo and Inside. They're platformers that are about a big-headed child in a scary world. Stray is a big-headed child in the scary world game, except instead of being a big-headed child, you're a cat. But you are in a scary world. And I like it. The other thing it uses is it has adventure game logic in it, where like, oh, you like one of the early quests, you have to find you have to get cable to make a poncho for somebody, but to get the cable, you have to trade some guy detergent, but the detergent is locked away in the laundromat. So to open the laundromat, you have to spill a paint can. Right, and it's like all these steps you have to take, right, which is very adventure game. So it's a big-headed child in a scary world adventure game. Which are not, I mean, Limbo has similar puzzles, or Limbo/Inside. You know, they have those puzzle elements. The difference is I don't remember Limbo or Inside having an inventory. I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong about that. Those games might have an inventory, but I definitely don't remember it having one. So yeah, I liked it. You know, it looks really good. Right? And, you know, at least I played it on PS5. I think it might be on PC. I kind of don't remember. I played it on PS5. I think the game looks good. It's got some. I love the robots. Just that simple design of taking these like humanoid style robots, but then giving them cute little LCD screen faces with like the cute little like simple smiles. It's just super charming. You meet some nice characters along the way, because the whole point is you're in this underground city, and your whole point is to get out. So you meet this group called the Outsiders, who are doing exactly that. They're a group who have been stuck in the underground and are trying to get out. And you have to help them out, right? Some of them have tried to escape, right? Some of them are like stayed behind, so you got to meet up with the one who stayed behind. And yeah, that's just your entire goal. Get out. And you know, you slowly climb up the city. The game's divided into clear segments, right? There's the city segments, and then there's the more... Like, there's one segment where you have to go, like, to this tower. And you have to climb up this tower to place a satellite dish. Along your way, you're accompanied by this little robot, B12, who's, you know, helping you out and does all the talking and everything, because you're just a cat. There's a dedicated meow button, which is cute. There's all these little segments where you can like lay down and just like take a nap, and it's really, you know, it's just meant to be very cathartic, I guess. Right? It's a rather relaxing game that I do enjoy. I will say it did not make me cry, right? I feel like a lot of people saw the concept for this game and were like, oh, this is going to make me cry, right? A game about a cat? No, it did not. It does have its sad moments, but spoiler alert, I guess, right? The game's been out for a while now, but I'll give the spoiler alert. I think it came out in August. I'll give the spoiler alert anyways. They do not kill the cat. I know that was a lot of people's big concerns, that they were going to kill the cat. They do not kill the cat. People do die, just not the cat. The cat is not one of them. You also don't find out whether or not the cat gets reunited with its family, which kind of sucks. Because, like, the game starts off with you, like, outside the dome, and then you fall into the dome somehow. But yeah, you don't actually find out if the cat gets reunited with its family. Honestly, it's kind of like they could have made, like, a big moment at the end about, like, oh, you're getting out of the city, hey, everybody else is getting out as well. And they really don't. It's very, actually, like, it's not somber exactly, but it's they keep it, like, very, like, mellow. Like, yep, you're just walking out. You've done everything. Hopefully everybody else is fine. I mean, you see the robots get shut down, and all the lurks get poofed because they're weak to sunlight, but, you know, Dome City, which is clearly, like, intentional. The lurks were clearly intentionally designed to be weak to sunlight, so that way, like, in case anything ever did go wrong. But then nobody just ever opened up the dome because all the humans died. Oh. Come on. Oh, I'm out of ink. Shit. So yeah, I do. Stray is a very good game. I had fun with it. I get why it was nominated for Game of the Year. Again, I haven't played... Of the indie games I've played, would I put it above Vampire Survivor? Admittedly, my big hang-up with Vampire Survivor has just been I haven't put enough time into it. Right? And that's, like, the big thing, is if I put more time into it, I know I would love it, right? That's how I felt about a lot of games, right? Dead Cells. Dead Cells made, what, 7 or 8 on my Game of the Year list that year. Looking back, if I had played it more, it would have been not only number 1, because it's one of my favorite games of all time. Same thing with, Hades I luckily did put enough time into. But, Disco Elysium's a different beast. But that's Disco Elysium, even though I did play it this year, I'm not even going to put it on the list. Just because I haven't put enough time into it. And Vampire Survivor, it's on mobile now, so I can play it a lot more. Man, maybe Vampire Survivors will probably make the list, but I don't know if it'll be as high as I want it to be, because I haven't played it enough. Whereas Stray, I beat the entire game. I didn't 100% it. I missed, there are these, memories you collect, and I missed, I think 3? Because there were just ones I could not find. So yeah, I do recommend Stray, right? At least, I wanted to at least play one of the games nominated for Game of the Year. I know, again, it's all arbitrary. Again, my Game of the Year list is definitely going to look different than the stuff nominated for Game of the Year. But I at least want it, right? Because those are good games, and I usually try to play one. Metroid Dread, what was even nominated in 2019? Honestly, it's one of those things where, I don't even remember. 2020, I know I played something. Last year was Metroid Dread, for sure. Oh, shit. I honestly can't even remember. I know Celeste was 2018. And, of course, Breath of the Wild in 2017. I just don't remember 2017 or 2020. I know Smash Bros. Maybe Smash Bros. Was 2019? That sounds right. Yeah. I really should play Elden Ring, though. Or I should play Dark Souls. This Dark Souls. I don't know. I've heard such conflict. I've heard some people say, don't play Dark Souls, then play Elden Ring. But I've heard other people say, don't play Elden Ring, then play Dark Souls. I've really heard conflicting things about that. And that just makes things harder, you know. God, we got 2 bows. Luckily the other bow's not terrible. Where is... Honestly, I've seen worse layouts. So yeah. I definitely... There are definitely more games I want to play this year. I don't know if I'll actually play any of them, but... There's definitely more stuff I want to play. We're fucked. I can't do anything there. So the last thing I got for the night is Rick and Morty. There was a new Rick and Morty this week. Honestly, I don't have high thoughts on it. Just being completely honest, this one was all about the Lords of the Sun, where you find out there's this ancient sun cult that worshipped the sun or that had a temple on the sun, but there's the Knights of the Sun. But there's also the Knights of, Mars and Venus and Mercury, and... Right, Lordy becomes the king of the sun, but he really doesn't want to be, and then that leads to the solar system world war. That then results in, right... It basically... And the entire time, Rick's just trying to be supportive, right? 30% more supportive. Morty's convinced they're doing another Vat of Acid episode where Rick's just gonna fuck him over. But in the end, they do fake their deaths with the Vat of Acid. Right? They fall into a vat of molten sun. They test it with the ladle. It doesn't work. They do that joke again. And honestly, that's not a bad callback. But I did not care for this episode at all. The Knights of the Sun stuff was, I thought, dumb. Right there, like, yeah, the Knights of the Sun getting addicted to heroin was an okay joke, right? Being completely disillusioned. There's definitely commentaries here about religion and, you know, whether or not it's how real is everything and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It definitely wasn't the strongest of concept. And the entire time, right? And they still do the fetish shit because castration, I know castration isn't. I'm sure there are some people who have a fucking castration fetish. I'm sure that exists. I mean, I know for a fact it does somewheres. Right? Some guy's really into castration hentai. But, yeah, so the weird, you know, it's still here. It's never, right? I mean, we've gone from fucking, Pissmaster to this. It's never that's just Rick and Morty now. Weird fetish shit. Don't expect any less. I don't. But it's definitely the more, I mean, like, compared to, like, fucking Pissmaster last week. It's definitely more tame. Because fucking, like, Pissmaster, really? Where's the other one? God damn it. There are 2 fly fish on us. I know we left this one way longer than we should have. Come on. Fucking... Nope, I just don't do enough shots per second. We're so fucked already. We've immediately lost this. Yeah, getting 2 fly fish on us and then just not being able to, not just dealing with them, really made this a pain in the ass. Having 2 blasters doesn't help, and a fucking brush. I mean, I know brush is a decent turfing weapon, but for killing enemies, it just doesn't do nearly enough damage. So yeah, that, you know, I just think it was a super underwhelming episode. Honestly, I think it's episode 9, right? So I think there's one more in the season, because usually Rick and Morty seasons are 10. I don't expect any big revelation, right? I think this season definitely is taking a break from, right? We got all these big plot reveals at the end of the last season. This season is definitely taking a break from that. I don't think we're going to get any big plot reveal-y episodes at the end of this. You know, and I mean, that, to be fair, that's how the show works, right? For every Rick Lantis, you then have season 4, which I don't think does anything. And then season 5 is huge. Right? And I mean, the season started off like that. I mean, getting, right, like that first episode, right, with Rick creating an AI with the voice of his ex-wife, or his dead wife, meant to torture him. I mean, that's just pretty fucking dark. And then there was the dinosaurs fixing the hole in space. Yeah. Again, it's been a very mixed season. You know, for some of the good, there's also just the bad and the boring. So, yeah. So, I guess that takes us to the end. So, thoughts on... Where the fuck is my... Give me a second. So, thoughts on this thoughts on Big Run, now that we've been doing it for 2.5-ish hours. This weapon cannot deal with that guy. This is not the kind of weapon meant to deal with him. It'll deal with you fine, though. It would have dealt with him fine as well, but no, fucking those guys don't care. So yeah, I think this is fine. Honestly, I wish we were doing better. Whether that's just me being terrible or everyone I'm partying with being terrible, combination of both. You know, it probably doesn't really help that I'm playing at like midnight, 2 a.m. in the fucking morning. That probably doesn't help. So I'll probably try again. I mean, it's nice to get all the extra rewards. I wish there were even more than that. Right? Like, I wish I had more incentive to just keep going. See, like, think whatever you want about a Sploosh-O-Matic. This is a freaking great boss-killing weapon. I hate that all of our runs with Kozuna so far have just been awful. Did we not get any eggs for doing this? We're lagging right now. We are for sure lagging. Right? I wish both of our encounters with Kozuna had gone better. I mean, the second one was absolutely screwed, but... Okay, nozzle nose. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. And we got another disconnect? I mean, it makes sense. We were lagging out the wazoo, but still. Yeah. It's been, honestly, it's been fine. I wish, I know there's, like, supposed to be, like, some wild stuff that can happen. I just feel like we've had nothing that impressive happen. And I feel like... Yeah, we've just been getting our ass kicked a lot tonight. Right? Like, I know, like I said, I saw somebody get, like, 250 fucking eggs. And the best we've gotten is 80. Which, to be fair, is pretty standard for me, but, yeah, it could be better, that's for sure. It's okay, you know. It's been a long night. I was originally going to stream yesterday. And then, like, I was just so tired. It had been a long day. Swap for chunks. A lot of cash. Wow, that was really nothing special. We have not got, I mean, in all the Salmon Run I've played, I have not gotten a single gold shell. And that's just a disappointment. Right? Just, you have to to get those good rewards, you have to beat Kohozuna. It's just so fucking hard. Like, I would love to get some of this cool shit. But, nah. And I still don't know what all these question marks are. Like, I would have thought with the new update, some of these question marks would have been unlocked. And maybe you do get them, like, if we go into the... Not there. What am I looking for? Not that. I'm looking for something specific that I can't find. And, you know, I bet this is better with friends. Is it rules? No, it's not rules. Rewards and... Yeah, so if you look at that, like... Done 141 shifts, golden eggs... I know there's, like, a whole thing with, like, points and something. And maybe that unlocks stuff, but... I just have had no luck. So I think Big Run goes for another, what, 24-ish hours? It ends at 5 p.m. today? So yeah, it goes for a few more hours. Still, I don't think I've played Mariner's Bay yet, or Mariner's Bay... Black Zones is in the open right now. We should go do that before we end off. Let's go do it. Let's go shell out. I don't know. I have not played it, honestly, in like a week. I've been doing other stuff. I just have not had the time to play. I do want to. I'm just so disappointed by the Big Swig, man. I really wanted to like the Big Swig, and it just wasn't. I like that even the sky's purple here. You know, it's nice continuity details like that I do like. Because I want to get to... I want to get to level 30. Because we're almost there. Yeah, we were so close to fucking S rank, man. And I fucking blew it. And now I just cannot get back. I've tried. I just cannot get back. I have been, since the update came out, I have been doing terrible. I've been trying out, admittedly, I was doing terrible, and then I started trying out new weapons, right, just to like switch things up. Like, we've got the Splattershot Nova here, which, yeah, is a pretty, from what I hear, is a good support weapon. I'm new to playing support, so it's definitely taking me some time to learn. Because I'm all aboard, like, just jumping in and, you know, shots fired. Yeah. I don't know. I'm definitely going to have to, next week, experiment around with it in Turf Wars. Big Swig, I honestly don't think is going to be the worst weapon in Turf Wars. It covers a lot of area. But it will never be competitively viable. That weapon kit. God, that fucking weapon kit. So yeah, this custom Splattershot Jr. I've heard nothing but great things about. But this fucking... Oops. Look at this. Fucking splash wall and ink vac. A support roller. That does, like, and you know, the worst part. That. Fucking... Now, I know there is a certain way to, like, corner things, but fucking, it doesn't, if it just did even 5 more damage, that would at least make it better. Just, like, 5 more damage. But no. Now, you can one-shot kill with it. But it's decently close range. 1. And 2, look at how narrow that is. And, like, people have learned that, right, like, even right here, that won't kill. That won't kill. That won't even hit. But if I use a, Flingza. Really? That doesn't hit either? Maybe I'm too far. I mean, I don't know. There's like a certain thing, right? Like right there. Okay, so right there, that hits. I know there's something weird with this weapon's hitbox. This fucking Big Swig. Where, like, what should hit... Like, look at that. What would probably hit with... This would probably hit with another roller. But not the Big Swig. So, yeah, you've got to get... If you want to use this thing, if you want to kill with this thing, you've got to do it like that. And, yeah, God help you if you miss. I mean, luckily it's got a pretty fast wind-up, but still. This thing will never be viable. Its kit guarantees that. But yeah, just do a little, like 5 more damage. God. What a pain. I also bought the new carbon roller just in case. And then, yeah, like I said, I was getting into the Squiffer right before. Right when the update came out. So now I've got all these new weapons to use. But I hear this is like maybe the best weapon of the update. A lot of support stuff, but I should get good at support. Right? You should really get good at all aspects of the game. I just need to, but it's not, again, I'm definitely more of a sneak in, shark in. I mean, there's a reason why I always used, I used the exact same Ninja Squid shirt in Splatoon 2 that I purposefully did not pick up in this game. I mean, I know I have Ninja Squid outfits, but honestly, the outfit I have right now, I think I've been using a lot these lat resource glasses a lot because, you know, they do actually come in handy. Right? I switch between these two glasses. But other than that, yeah. And then I did talk, right, I got max rank in the last season, so that did happen. What? Oh, this is crack on. Okay, ooh. Ooh, I might level you up a little bit. Yeah, so are you. There was one weapon that I heard was good with Respawn Punisher. Because, yeah, this has been my crack on Ninja Squid up until this point. Yeah. But no, I've been... Yeah, look at how bad you are. I like the whales. But yeah, no, my gear has mostly consisted of these 2 items. And then just changed around the glasses. I don't know. It's definitely not perfect gear. And, you know, I definitely need more variety in there. I'm never going to be great at this game, but I can be okay. I'd like to hope I can be. I'd like to hope I can get up to S rank again. I mean, I did it once, kind of. I can do it again. God, hope I can do it again. Yeah, I've been doing other stuff, and I will continue to do other stuff right now. Hopefully, I'll be freed up for time in December. I guess that takes us to the end of the show. You know, I know. Oh, well, we got to finish Pokemon. I know that's the thing. Oh, we have to finish Pokemon. I really want to finish Pokemon because we only have one. We have. It's not Ida. We have one more Starfall, and then we can go do the Elite Four. I know there definitely is some sort of post-game thing. I mean, one detail has been spoiled for me about it, and you know all the Paradox stuff. But that's all. We'll figure that out when we get there. Yeah. But I don't think we'll do it tomorrow. I've got some other things to do tomorrow. I was originally going to stream yesterday, and then like I said, I was tired, man. It had been a long day. I've been very busy, and I'll continue to be busy this next 2 weeks. Or at least, yeah. Right. I free up time right around Christmas. But we're going to be Pokemon. We're going to be Pokemon before Christmas. I don't know if we're going to do anything on Christmas or around then. I don't know. But yeah, tomorrow I am busy, and that probably takes me through the rest of the week, honestly. Yeah. So yeah, I've been toiling around here for a while. Oh. Still glad I didn't stream the Game Awards. God, that would have... Honestly, like, I know, oh, you have fun reacting to, like, news bits. And sure, my Hades reaction was like, oh, shit. The Celeste thing, same thing. Like, oh, Earthblade. Oh, shit. But everything else would have been like, oh, God, how is the speech going for 20 minutes? It didn't go that long, but it went a while. So, yeah, I think that's all I got. Yeah. Because, yeah, we've got... how many more Saturdays? We've got 2 more Saturdays. And then I'll do Game of the Year probably either on the 31st or that next day on the 1st. Don't know when. I'll just do it. Alright, we'll do Game of the Year. I don't know. I'll figure it out then. I might even do it that Friday. I don't know. I'll think about it. God, because I was, with the Game Awards, I was looking at, like, oh, what games have I played this year? If I were to make the Game of the Year list, just, like, what things stand out? I was like, oh, God, this is going to be a hard list to make. I've already played more games this year than I did last year. So, at least, there's definitely going to be a top 10 this year, which there has not always been. I have not always done a top 10 list. Still in retconning Golf Story, though. And God, that's going to be out any day now. I honestly would not have been surprised if that was at the Game Awards. If they had, during the opening, like, pre-show, if they had announced, hey, Golf Story drops right now, or Sports Story. And that because that's probably going to be one of those last-minute things that comes onto the list, and boom, oh, wow, look, here's a last-minute setup that could theoretically be a Game of the Year contender. And then there's Soccer Story, which, what the fuck is Soccer Story? I have no idea what that is, but I saw that and it looks very similar to Golf Story, and and I feel like maybe even one of the studios that either produced Golf Story or like had some sort of involvement in the game worked on Soccer Story, and I saw that on Switch and I was like, oh, okay, that's very interesting. And so I was definitely interested in that, but I wasn't gonna spend money to buy that, especially because like if the reviews were better, then definitely. But no, the reviews were not that great. So, I mean, they were okay, I guess. And then, God, have you heard all that stuff going on with the Unbound Ghost? Like, that's really weird. So I have no idea what's going on with